Listen closely, because some stories don't end when the screen goes black. Some follow you home. And this one feels like a warning. It begins in silence. A small, forgotten church sits alone in the countryside. Old wood, cracked, stained glass, wind pushing through broken windows. There is no music, no people, just the sound of something moving. A priest walks slowly down the aisle. His breath is shaky. His hands are trembling. He holds a cross tight against his chest, and we hear Italiano. A voice, not loud, not human. It calls his name. The candles around him flicker at once, one by one. Then they go out. Darkness swallows the room, and that's when we see the shadow. Not standing, not walking, but crawling along the ceiling. The priest begins to pray faster, louder, desperate, and then the screen cuts to black. 3 months later, Ed and Lorraine Warren are older now. Tired, slower, but they haven't stopped. They can't stop. Because evil doesn't stop. They live quietly, surrounded by locked rooms and cursed objects, each one holding something that once tried to escape. Lorraine wakes up in the middle of the night. She sits up fast, gasping. Her eyes are wide, full of fear. She doesn't say a word. She doesn't need to. Ed already knows. She saw something. Again. 4 days. She keeps seeing the same place. That same church. That same hallway. That same priest, begging for help. But something feels different. This doesn't feel like a vision. It feels like a memory she never lived. Then the phone rings. A woman is crying on the other end. Her voice shakes as she explains that her brother, the priest from that church, has disappeared. No one knows where he went. No one knows what happened. All they found was the church. Completely abandoned and unseated. Strange markings burned into the walls. Ed looks at Lorraine. Lorraine looks at Ed. They already know. They're going. The church is colder than it should be, even in daylight. Dust covers everything. The air feels heavy, hard to breathe. Lorraine steps inside first. Her hand brushes against the wooden pews, and suddenly she stops. Her face changes. She sees something, we hear whispers. Soft, overlapping, like 100 voices speaking at once. She turns slowly toward the altar. For just a second, someone is standing there, watching her, then gone. Ed calls her name, pulling her back, but she can't shake the feeling. Something in here remembers her. They begin asking questions around the nearby town. The people don't like talking. Doors close. Eyes turn away. Finally, an old woman agrees to speak. She tells them the church was built over something. Not a grave, not a ruin, something older. Something buried on purpose. Years ago, strange things began happening. People getting sick, hearing voices, seeing figures standing at the edge of their beds, and then the priest arrived. He tried to cleanse it, but whatever was inside the church didn't want to leave. The Warrens return at night. That's when it gets worse. The wind stops completely. The trees outside don't move. Even the insects go silent. Lorraine walks slowly down the aisle again, just like the priest did in the beginning. She can feel something watching her. Close. Very close. Then she hears breathing right behind her. She turns fast. No one. But the candles suddenly light themselves, one by one. And the whispers come back, louder this time. Her name is in them over and over. Ed rushes to her side, and that's when they see it. The markings on the wall, they weren't just symbols. They were warnings, and underneath the altar, they find a hidden door. It takes both of them to open it. The wood screams as it moves. Dust rises into the air, and beneath it, stone steps going down. The basement is freezing cold. Their breath turns to mist. The walls are damp, covered in the same burned symbols. At the end of the stairs, a room, and in the center of it, a chair. Strapped to it is the missing priest, but he's not alive, and he's not dead. His eyes are open, completely black, his mouth moving slowly, whispering, not prayers. Something else. Lorraine steps closer. She tries to reach him, but suddenly his head snaps toward her, and he smiles a smile that doesn't belong to him. His voice changes, deep, twisted. I remember you. Lorraine freezes. The lights explode. Glass shatters. The door slams shut above them, and the priest's body begins to shake violently. Ed pulls Lorraine back, but she can't stop staring, because for a moment, she sees something standing behind the priest. Tall, thin, with a face she recognizes. Something from years ago, something she thought was gone forever. The demon isn't just in the church. It's been waiting for her. The next day has become a blur. Lorraine grows weaker, pale, silent. She keeps seeing the same image. Funeral, but it's not someone else's. It's Ed's. She tries to ignore it. She tries to fight it, but the visions won't stop. Meanwhile, Ed researches the symbols. He finds something disturbing. This isn't a haunting, it's an invitation. The church wasn't built to keep something out. It was built to keep something in. And the priest opened the door. The final night comes fast. The church is darker than before. The air feels alive, like it's breathing. Lorraine knows what has to happen. She doesn't want Ed to come inside, but he refuses to leave her alone. They walk down into the basement one last time. The priest's body is gone. The chair is empty, but something is there, waiting. The walls begin to move. The floor shakes. A low growl fills the room. Then the priest appears at the top of the stairs, standing perfectly still. He looks at them, and then his body twists in a way no human body should move. Bones cracking, skin stretching. And behind him, the darkness begins to take shape. Lorraine starts praying, her voice shaking. Ed holds her hand tight. The temperature drops lower. The candles go out, and that thing steps forward, not fully seen. Just enough to know it's real. Just enough to know it's close. Lorraine screams as it reaches toward Ed. He falls to the ground, choking, like invisible hands are crushing his chest. She tries harder, though they're undespaired. The room shakes violently. The symbols on the walls begin to burn, and then silence. Everything stops. The priest collapses. The darkness pulls back, and for a moment, it feels so bare. But Lorraine looks up, and her face fills with fear. Because the thing isn't gone, it's just moved. Moved from the church. Moved from the priest. Moved somewhere else. Somewhere closer. Back home. The last scene is quiet. The Warrens' artifact room. Locked. Still. Safe. Or so it seems. The camera slowly moves past the glass cases, past the cursed objects, and then it stops at a door. One that was never there before. On the wood, fresh and carved deep, are the same symbols from the church. From inside the room, we hear a soft knock. Once, twice, then a whisper. Last rites won't save you. And the door handle begins to turn.